What is up, watch fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris watch shop, and today we've got some breaking news. Rolex and Patek Philippe have officially exited the Baselworld fair. Not for now, but for good. This is the end of an era. Boom, watch fam. Today I'm wearing an immaculate Datejust fitted on its original oyster bracelet and smooth steel bezel. This is an 80s model, so it's a quick set. Datejust is a very versatile watch. The Datejust goes from very kind of dressy to sporty, and this is a great example of really how sporty a Datejust could be. This watch has just been serviced and is available in the Theo and Harris watch shop, along with a host of other pieces from Rolex and Omega and Longines, etc. So head on over there after this video and take a look. Over the last 103 years, the Baselworld Fair has served as a platform for the world's most important brands, like Rolex and Patek Philippe, to launch their models, to build excitement, to educate, and ultimately to capture the market. Baselworld, while maybe now on life support, has played a major role in the successful launch of now watch icons. So today, I'd like to look back on the history of the fair, some of the incredible watches that came through it, the fair's downfall, and its last hope. Baselworld was first organized in 1917 as a watch and jewelry fair. A few years later, in 1931, after the watch segment gained its traction, it was actually able to split from jewelry and have its own fair. The next year, in 1932, Patek Philippe first exhibited at Baselworld, and the year following that, Heuer. Rolex, who had already launched their oyster case and groundbreaking automatic movement at the time, entered in 1939. Then, in 1954, the Submariner hit the scene. And this brings me to the first major success, clear demonstration of the value brought by Basel. You see, while the Submariner gets the credit for being the first modern dive watch, it's actually not true. Blancpain's 50 Fathoms was released a whole year earlier. But Blancpain, among other variables, was not at Basel, so the release didn't make much noise. But when Rolex launched, even though they were second to market, they did it at Basel. They did it publicly. They did it with the attention of the watch world, and the Submariner went off running. How about two more legends? In 1969, Zenith's El Primero and Heuer's Caliber 11 were both launched at the same Basel fair. And then, in 1972, Audemars Piguet literally changed the meaning of the word luxury in the watch space at Baselworld. They, for the first time, marketed a steel luxury watch called the Royal Oak. Fast forward to 1999, and Baselworld launched one of the most significant watches of modern history, the Datograph, manufactured by A. Lange & Söhne, who had just released their first collection since their rebirth 5 years earlier. The Datograph was the first completely new in-house mechanical chronograph produced in the last 25 years. Cased in platinum, it was further complicated by a flyback function, oversized date, which Lange patented, and precisely jumping minutes counter. This was the watch that made Lange Lange, and it was at Basel that it exploded. So yes, Baselworld had purpose. It gave vendors the opportunity to introduce their newest watches, to reach their clients. It gave journalists the, although tight, space to cover the news as quickly as possible. It gave spectators this enormous, almost unbelievable world of luxury watches to stand in awe of, and it gave all of its attendees the opportunity to socialize with the most important industry figures. And then a few things happened. First, options. Today, brands can reach so far beyond the crowds at Basel through digital publications and social media. But because there was still some value in the fair, because Baselworld is literally in the DNA of the watch industry, and because no one wants to be that executive responsible for taking such a tremendous risk in leaving this institution, the fair lived, despite being quite antiquated. But then Basel got cocky. They overestimated their value. They ignored criticism. and refused to add to their offering by, let's say, building a significant digital presence of their own. And in turn, they soured their relationships with brands. In 1991, you saw the first exits. It was Cartier and Audemars Piguet most notably. They left, seeking value and opportunity elsewhere. But it was in 2018 that things really got bad. The entire Swatch Group left. Nick Hayek, the CEO of the Swatch Group, said annual watch fairs as they exist today no longer make much sense. This does not mean that they should disappear, but it is necessary that they reinvent themselves, responding appropriately to the current situation and demonstrating more dynamicism and creativity. The MCH Group, which organizes Baselworld, is clearly more concerned with optimizing and amortizing its new building, which incidentally is largely financed by the watch industry during the fairs, than it is having the courage to make real progress and to bring about true and profound changes. Mr. Hayek couldn't have possibly said it better. And now, the nail in the coffin, just 2 years later, the exit of Rolex and Patek Philippe. So yes, at best, Baselworld as we know it is dead. While losing Rolex and Patek is certainly a devastating blow that will forever change the fair, it also presents an opportunity for the brands that would have otherwise been overshadowed by these two incredibly large and important companies. Can it be saved? Well, sure. If LVMH stays in the fair, I'm sure on new terms if they do. Breaking news, LVMH now is also out of Baselworld. So all that I just said about how it could survive, scratch it, it's over. It's over. That's all, folks. So what do I think? I like it. I'm glad. And for two major reasons. First, I love seeing arrogant or rude people get kicked in the teeth. The reputation that Baselworld has earned in the way that they treat the people that support the fair, the patrons, the brands, is horrible. From price gouging and overcrowding at best to the shocking and appalling way that they've handled their refunds or the lack of refunds in light of the corona pandemic, I'm disgusted. And I'm glad the people that were responsible for that culture and that behavior are being punished. And second, I love, and in this particular circumstance, have an actual interest in antiquated systems dying. With these shows being reevaluated and the marketing executives at this company awakening to their dissatisfaction with the kind of return on their investment of time and money, that brings up a wonderful opportunity for great content to be created in collaboration with creators like ourselves. So for me personally, this is an extremely exciting time. Now that said, I do look forward to the fairs that are coming to Geneva next year, and I actually intend to attend. But there are much more exciting things on the horizon. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel at Theo and Harris if you love watches. Like this video, and more importantly than any of that, comment down below with your thoughts. Thanks again.